What's up, guys? This is the Huebner 5 here. We got Jason, we got my boy Chuck, got Will, we got Alex, and Eric. Eric's driving. So today we're gonna be going to how many places? 4 places, right? We tested 4 things, right?
Yeah, 4.
Testing 4 things. We tested 4 different aspirin pills, and we're going to their respective stores where we purchased them from, and we're gonna see which one's the most worth it. So, yeah. Okay, so our lab purpose was to isolate acetylsalicylic acid in several commercial brands of aspirin. And so our question was, do different brands of aspirin contain different amounts of acetylsalicylic acid from the advertised value? And if so, which commercial brand of aspirin stays closest to the stated value of aspirin and or has the highest amount of acetylsalicylic acid? There's several brands of aspirin claim to contain 325 milligrams of acetylsalicylic acid, then 325 milligrams can be... Cut. Okay, so our hypothesis was that if several brands of aspirin are tested for the percent yield of acetylsalicylic acid and its value of acetylsalicylic acid per tablet, not including the binders, the Bayer brand of aspirin will produce the highest yield compared to all the other brands.
Just cut it. We'll just cut it.
I know. Start recording.
Oh, that's in the street.
Wait.
Please run over it. 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 Please run over it.
You guys are good.
Alright, so the materials we use are acetylsalicylic acid, which is the aspirin, ethyl acetate, 6 molar of hydrochloric acid, 10% sodium bicarbonate with 10 grams of bicarbon, 90 grams of water.
90 grams of water.
90 grams water. Balance 0.001 grams precision. Beakers 150 milliliters. Capillary tubes 2 is optional. Buckner flask 250 milliliters.
I believe those are Buchner flasks.
Alright,
We'll just cut that.
Just say Buchner.
Buchner flask 250 milliliters.
Keep that
Filter
in there.
paper. Funnel, graduated cylinder, 50 milliliters, stirring rod, pH test strips, separatory funnel, 250 milliliters, spatula, weigh boat, and various aspirin pills.
And ice water.
Oh yeah, and ice water.
Okay guys, so we're at the Dollar Tree right now, as you can see, and we're going to be testing their aspirin. Yeah, let's go. Ooh, assured. As you can see, we're here at the dollar store. Look at this beauty. So we're here with the dollar store aspirin, the Assured brand. So the percent yield after we did our experiment of this brand was 82.76%, which isn't too bad. And the percent of acetylsalicylic acid in 48 tablets is 72.76%.
So the next thing we set out to do was to go to Rayleigh's to get the Rayleigh's brand of aspirin, which conveniently was right next to the dollar store.
Alright. The percent yield of Rayleigh's was 75.71%, and the percent of acetylsalicylic acid in 48 aspirin tablets was 67.88%.
Chuck, your glasses look horrible.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I look great in this shot, dude.
Hey Alex, pause that one. Because now that we're gonna.
Are you filming? Okay, so originally our original procedure was we're gonna take several brands of aspirin and we're gonna extract the acetylsalicylic acid out of them. Oh my god, that's gonna be so loud.
Close the window, Eric!
Close the window, Aaron.
Okay, so the first procedure.
Okay, so our procedure for our lab is what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these several types of aspirin, different store brands, and we're gonna extract the acetylsalicylic acid out of them. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna crush the pills up, and then we're gonna put it in a beaker, dissolve it in ethyl acetate, and then after that, we're gonna dissolve it in a Huebner flask, and then add in sodium bicarbonate into the funnel, and then filter it again. Afterward, we should have a solution that we can just add HCl into, and what it should do is it should precipitate out the acetylsalicylic acid, and basically we just weigh that and we compare how much acetylsalicylic acid was retrieved or recovered, and then compare it to the actual number or the value that the brand wrote.
Which was 0.325 grams.
Yeah.
So
For each
25
bottle,
milligrams.
for each pill.
That procedure failed. Thanks, Flynn Scientific.
Okay, so we're here at CVS with the Bayer brand, which is the name brand, it's like the most popular. Then the percent yield that we got for it was 95.81, which is the best that we have, I believe. And then the percent of acetylsalicylic acid we got from it was 80.62, which is also the best.
So, procedure 2, we took a little bit of a different approach since the pills have cornstarch as opposed to silica gel. So this procedure came across through a bunch of like trial and error. We did at least 4 trials until we reached this final procedure. And we got most of the steps from YouTube, and we had to like combine a bunch of different steps to fit our needs basically. So step 1 was we used 48 tablets of aspirin, and we put them into a mortar and pestle. We crushed them up into a fine powder. Then from that, we added, since we had 48 pills, we added 50 mils of acetone. So roughly 1 mil of acetone per pill, and we mixed it until it was a fine solution, and we boiled it from there. We kept it at 60 to 70 degree temperature. We boiled it using a water bath because we didn't want to boil straight acetone, or it would like release its gas, just be nasty. So yeah, after we boiled it down for about 20 minutes, the solution separated into a solid phase and a liquid phase. From there, we poured that solution into our Huebner funnel with the filter flask, and we filtered out the solid. And after we filtered out the solid, we added more acetone just to make sure everything was washed out. All the acetylsalicylic acid was washed out. And yeah, after we collected our acetylsalicylic solution, there's a cop behind us. Yeah, so after we poured out the acetylsalicylic solution, we poured it into a different beaker, and then from there I added cold water to invoke the crystals to crash out of the solution. Yeah. So we didn't really keep track of how much ice water we added. We just added enough until it started to crash out. Yeah, that was our second procedure. We waited for it to dry. It dried in about 4 days. It took a while. We used a drying oven, and yeah, it worked. So it was great.
No, that's mainly okay.
Go ahead, go.
We should keep them one.
So here we are at Target. This is the Up and Up brand, and the weight of the container and the pills together is 87.19 grams. So basically, each pill should have 0.325 grams, and in theory, we should be able to get a percent yield of 88.14% acetylsalicylic acid out of the pills because of the we're getting rid of the binding on the pills. We actually were able to get 76.6% yield out of the pills, which is better than Rayleigh's, but not better than the Bayer brand, which is still ahead.
Alright, so this is our conclusion. So our original hypothesis was that if the various brands of aspirin was tested, the Bayer brand would produce the yield closest to 100%, so it would therefore have the highest yield compared to all the other brands. And so our evidence or our findings from the lab actually supported this hypothesis. So percent yield, so each pill claims that it has 0.325 milligrams, 0.325 grams of acetylsalicylic acid. So we recorded the acetylsalicylic acid that we recovered from the experiment, and we divided it by the amount of acetylsalicylic acid that the pill bottle claimed to have. So from Bayer we got a theoretical yield of 95.8%, which was the highest. The second highest was Target, which was 88.14%. The next was a dollar store, and that was 82.76%. And the lowest was Rayleigh's at 75.71%. And then for the percent of acetylsalicylic acid in 48 tablets, this is the amount of acetylsalicylic acid per pill, because the pill contains binders that holds it together. So the acetylsalicylic acid is the actual anti-inflammatory medication. So Bayer had a percent of acetylsalicylic acid of 80.62%. Target came in next at 76.8%. Then was Dollar Store at 72.76%. And unfortunately, at dead last was Rayleigh's at 67.88%. So from this data that we collected, we decided that Bayer was the most worth it due to the fact that it contains the most amount of acetylsalicylic acid per pill. And note to self, never buy Rayleigh's aspirin. I mean, obviously, this lab, there's a lot of errors in the lab. Some of our acetylsalicylic solution could have evaporated over time because we left it out. We only did one trial each because we didn't have enough time. We kind of wasted a lot of time figuring out how to get our procedure down. Any other experimental errors?
Our cleaning. We used beakers over and over again, so our cleaning might have not been precise.
Yeah, so there was a limited amount of beakers, so we had to use it and wash it, and then we dried it the best we could, but there could have still been water left over.
About with the thing was
that we had we were mixing these things in what did we end up using?
Acetone, yeah.
And to transfer from beaker to beaker, we had a limited amount of acetone, so we couldn't repeatedly wash out the beakers to get all of the crushed up pills.
Yeah. Makes sense. And yeah, that's another thing. Transferring, 'cause it was a lot of transferring. You had to get your solution, you had to put it in the Buchner funnel, you had to transfer the solution from the Buchner funnel to another flask, you had to boil it, and then you had to transfer it to a bigger dare I say petri dish? Was it like a petri dish?
It was just
Like
another.
you had to put in a plate, and so like from all of those transferings, we could have like possibly left some solution into there. So yeah, that basically concludes our lab. EP Chemistry, it's been a great run. I'm gonna miss all the fun times we've had. You guys have any input?
Yeah, I love chemistry. It's the best. That sounds super sarcastic, but you know, it's fun.
I'm sorry, Miss Huebner. I liked honors chem more, but I stuck through it this year, so I'm happy.
true.
Yeah, Mrs. Huebner, thanks for everything. It's been a great year. We've learned a lot, and you have strongly influenced both me and Chuck. We are strongly considering a chemistry major upon near future. So yeah, this is the Huebner 5. We got Will, we got Chuck, we got Eric and Alex and me. It's Huebner 5, signing out.
Okay, now what am I supposed to say? Wait, let me think. I need some inspiration.
Here's your inspiration.
Just have random fidget spinners.
So we're at Target.